Yo, 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 yo. Can't hear Jack. Headphones working. Yo, there we go. There we go. What is good? What's up? What's up, people? What's up? What's up, man? Wanted to go live. Hollered at the homie Dre this morning. I was going to do a video, just a video, but I decided I want to go live because I wanted to get some feedback from y'all on, you know what I'm saying? Maybe I'm tripping, maybe I'm tweaking, maybe I ain't seeing it the right way. You know what I'm saying? Maybe I'm jaded. And I want to preface this by saying, Amanda Seales, I love you. I want to see you do good. I want to see you do great. I want to see you soar and excel. And I think you are a dope person, and I think you deserve any and all accolades that come your way. But there is a thing called accountability. Regardless of said disability that you may or may not have, there is a thing called accountability. And I'm going to go over a couple of things to where it shows that you lack these things. So without further ado, let's get into it.
How much time till we're on?
We're on, Ron.
What?
We're on the air right now.
I'm ready. How much time till we're on?
We're on, Ron.
What?
Had it on loop. My bad, y'all. My bad. Welcome to Blues House. This is Blues News. I am Bluminati. This is your one-stop destination for entertainment, news, film, and TV reviews, all things hip-hop and pop culture, man. Yes, indeed. We're about to take this deep dive and talk about the Amanda Seales interview on Club Shay Shay. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Memberships are open, yada, yada, yada. You know all the good things. If you want to donate, donate. If you don't, still love you. You know what I'm saying? So let's hop into the because there's some key takeaways that I want to talk about. First off, I want to talk about my notes. The first thing, well, okay, let's just talk about in general. This whole thing with Amanda Seales, people look at, you know, the question is she likable? Why don't nobody like her? She put up a post about not being feeling loved in Black spaces, Black publications, things of that nature. She says she got some backlash from these Black publications, The Root, Griot, Black Enterprise, say that they put hit pieces on her, right? I didn't say it that way, but that's how she saw it. And like she said in her video, it's her experience. It's her experience. So I want to continue that trend of her experience. And I do not want to devalue her experience whatsoever. And I'm saying that honestly, wholeheartedly. I do not want to degrade or invalidate her experience. But just because it's her experience doesn't mean that it's right. I do want to say that. And that just because you have a certain POV doesn't mean that you're right. So in the interview, it started off pretty good. Shannon tried to ingratiate her and make her feel comfortable, you know what I'm saying, in being interviewed. Let me see, because I want to bring this up because the reason I want to start with the comfort level of said interview is because to me the theme of when it comes to her is lying. That's what the theme is. So I want to show certain. We're gonna go down the line and see about whether she's lying or if these just mistruths. I've heard that word today, or misunderstandings. Right? We're gonna do that. So let me share this real quick. Is that the right one? Yeah, that should be it. All right. So this is how it started off. Like I said, it started off pretty chill. Pretty chill. It started off.
No, because I know that I have a lot of energy when I come into a space, and people will be like, oh, you know, it's a lot of, so I have been trained over the years to try to make people feel comfortable.
Okay.
So that's what I'd be trying to do.
Well, I'm trying to make you feel comfortable. Are you comfortable?
Yes.
You know, normally when guests come on the show, we like to have.
So I'm just playing that right now, just to let you know how it started. She said she felt comfortable. This is all relating to the mind state of Amanda Seales. Not to diminish her mind state or to pass judgment or to cast anything on. I just want to put y'all in the mind of where she is right now. Comfortable. She was comfortable. Amanda Seales, to me, I don't want to discredit what she, I'm pretty sure everybody's heard about her diagnosis of autism, and pretty sure a lot of people I've seen either watch the whole interview or watch clips. I've watched the whole interview, gone back, dissected a couple of things. Yes, I did watch the whole thing, 3 hours or whatever. But the whole thing from what I gathered with Amanda is, it's all about her. The word I want to use, and I hope nobody takes this as derogatory or bad, but it reminds me of an adult brat. Most bratty kids were not disciplined as children. They don't understand the consequences of their actions. And she even stated that her mom let her just be Amanda. Right? And I'm not challenging anybody's parenting skills. That's not what I'm here to do. But what I am saying, that as you progress in life and you don't understand when you can or can't do something, or something doesn't go your way, and now you're blaming everybody. She brings up racism a lot. Racism. Amanda Seales, growing up in racist ass Orlando, Florida, which is something she constantly made sure that you understood in the 80s, in the 90s. But she always seemed to come out on top. Seems that every opportunity that she could get, it was afforded to her. Whether it was booking these gigs that she claimed that she didn't even want to go to. Booking these gigs as a child. Being a great gymnast. She talked real, she got real bubbly about the teachers and her coaches and how they treated her, and she felt protected around that. She went to, from my understanding, that gymnast was prestigious. Went on to college up in New York, right? Even went to Columbia. Got her master's and everything in African American studies, the minor in hip hop. That's dope. So a lot of people, me included, she's an educated, well-read woman. But I wouldn't necessarily call her a smart woman. I wouldn't call her smart because it seems she can't navigate regular social things. Knowing how to read a room. knowing when to say something, knowing what battles to fight so you can win said war that you are waging. Amanda, it's almost, going back and watching this, it's almost as if she has, and I'm not going to she can diagnose herself. I'm just throwing this out here. Munchausen syndrome. Munchausen syndrome. I want y'all to look that up, and y'all let me know in the comments if I could be wrong. I could just be talking out the side of my neck, right? I could be wrong. But it seems like that could play a certain part to her ailments mentally. I think the homegirl Gypsy Rose had Munchausen syndrome, but that was brought on by her mother. Acute, I think. I could be talking crazy. Y'all let me know in the comments. Y'all let me... I'm gonna get there. So she started the interview off by saying she was evolving and that she had got more info, also more slender. And when I first watched it, I said, that's dope. You evolving, which means to tell me that you are actually seeing these problems that are coming to you. You're seeing why you may be considered problematic to somebody. You're evolving. You're taking this in, doing a self-assessment and saying, oh shit, now I see. That's how she kind of preferenced the interview, right? She kind of preferenced the interview that way.
I'm a Portier. So how are you?
How am I? I am, that's a loaded question. I'm evolving. That's how I am. I'm evolving. I've had a lot of information and a lot of slander at the same time.
Okay.
And in the past month, it's just been a very difficult time, but there's been really beautiful things that have come out of it that I will speak to, in this conversation.
Well, since we started,
to me, that's dope. That's dope. A lot of beautiful things have come out from this slander, from the bad things that I've seen. It's a lot of beauty that now I have, since I've self-reflected upon myself, that I see I might be able to change things. So I'm in my head, I'm like, yes, let's change your narrative. Let's change the narrative of how people look at you. That's the main goal. That's why you came on Shannon Sharp. You came on this man's platform to change the narrative, what people think about you. That was the goal here. And it almost worked. Almost worked. This is where she got a lot of people at. She got a lot of people when she said she was recently diagnosed with autism. Recently diagnosed with autism. This was out of her mouth. It came out of her mouth.
Seeing what I was experiencing, and they shared with me that they had similar experiences.
Okay.
And so I recently was diagnosed as someone who has autism spectrum disorder.
Okay.
That's what she said. She didn't say I self-diagnosed. For all of those who say, oh no, she never said. She never said I was self-diagnosed or I self-diagnosed. She said I was diagnosed. I mean, someone else did that. We can go just play it. We can hear it again. I don't want to, you know what I'm saying, put no words in her mouth. Put no words.
Seeing what I was experiencing, and they shared with me that they had similar experiences.
Okay.
And so I recently was diagnosed as someone who has autism spectrum disorder,
Okay.
which is very difficult to identify in Black women because of racism.
So what?
And that's the theme of her, because and I think she does, you know what I'm saying? I think she wants to fight that good fight. She wants to uplift us as a community. She says it a lot. I'm all about community. I'm all about community. Fighting a good fight. Everything, but everything isn't that. Everything isn't that. I want to say that. I don't believe that everything is that. And if you are doing that, that doesn't necessarily give you the right to be an asshole. That don't give you the right to be an asshole. It just doesn't. It don't give you that right. Right? Chill, you silly, man. Hey, that was a dope little video too, Chill. But it don't give you the right to do that. Just, I know it seemed like I'm just rambling, but just bear with me. I'm gonna wrap it all up as I go through these certain things. You'll see where I'm coming from. So, like I said, she says she was recently diagnosed. To go, because what I'm trying to do is add to the character of, or add to the character of Amanda Seales, so we can get to the bottom of what is going on as a community. Maybe we can see something. Maybe somebody out there who'll be like, yeah, I see what's wrong here. Because I don't think she asked the right questions. A lot of people got on Shannon and say he's not equipped to add, and Shannon went to college and got a degree as well. I don't know why a lot of people act like, oh, he's not intellectually equipped. The man got a degree in criminal justice. You know what I'm saying? With a minor in history. He's smart. He has his impediments also, like we all do as human beings. But Shannon Sharpe ain't no dummy. Not only that, if we want to play the whole what school I would look at as having the black experience, Shannon Sharpe went to an HBCU. He went to Savannah State. Not to discount Amanda Seales, but she went to a predominantly white college at Columbia, and that's where she got her African American studies degree from. Just throwing that out there. Just throwing that out there. And now we play. Well, let me, like I said, so she said she was recently diagnosed. That was one time. Out of her own mouth. That was the first time she said that she was recently diagnosed. I want to play this because she says she does not lie to people and she isn't duplicitous, right?
Like, I don't cheat people. I don't lie to people. I don't stab people in the back. I don't operate in mendacity. I am not duplicitous. I don't do none of this shit, but I have a certain tone about how I speak. And that makes people feel like, oh, I'm mean, because something about the tone that I speak in doesn't make them feel a certain way.
So even with her saying that, she understands that she has a tone that she uses, that she speaks. When talking and communicating with people and trying to get her point across, she has a certain tone, which could rub people the wrong way. She understands that. But doesn't understand why people don't like her. Can we make that make sense? Make that make sense. Anybody in the chat, can somebody make that make sense for me? Can anybody? Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, can somebody make that make sense? If you speak with a certain diction, you carry a certain tone when you speak, but you know you do this. It's not like you don't know. You just told us that you know what you're doing. But you still don't understand? I don't get it. Why don't? But you don't get it. You don't get it. Which, you know, she's worried about, and then Also, she's worried about people who don't even know her. Worried about people. So as with certain celebrity comes people into your business who don't know you. You're a celebrity. People don't know you, right? But you can't be worried about those. Those aren't your people. They're not your people. So you can't be worried about them. Just go out and do what you're supposed to do. Go home.
People that you had relationships with, were this in the workplace that you became difficult, or this people that you just have general interactions with?
These aren't people I've met.
These aren't people I met.
So it's
the people who are saying these things about me have never met me.
So why are you
that's
worried
impacting you?
Yes.
Why?
For a number of reasons. One, I am not a sociopath. 2, it is actually a part of being autistic that you are very, very, very sensitive to what people think about you, because you are always keenly aware that you are an alien. You are keenly aware that you are different. You are keenly aware that something is very odd about you. And you're always, always trying to make the room feel good. We literally just talked about it because it's my habit.
Right.
It's my habit to try. I'm gonna cry already. I've only been here for like 5 damn minutes.
So she doubles down on, it's my autism that causes me to do that. I'm not here to say whether she has it or not. Me, myself, I don't personally think she has it. I think, or she might have it, but she might have some other things compounding on top of that. And that's why this, to me, a self-diagnosis is dangerous. To self-diagnose yourself with some type of mental issue or mental disorder without getting the proper follow-up so you can see what is really going on. Since you have diagnosed yourself to be neurodivergent, you need to go and get yourself checked out for real, because this is serious. Autism is a serious thing. Mental health is a serious situation. And if autism is causing you to not get the respect that you want, you might want to get a professional opinion or professional diagnosis and have a professional discussion about these things. Remember, she said not on this interview, but here in this interview, she said she was diagnosed, which left me, as I'm watching the interview, thinking, okay, she got an issue. Let's give this lady some grace. Let's really give this lady some grace. And I'm still all about giving this lady some grace. My bad, y'all. Hold on. I'm still all about giving her some grace because she deserves grace. She deserves to be heard. She does. But that doesn't give her the right to lie and be an asshole about lying. Like I said, just bear with me. Bear with me. Bear with me. So she was worried about, and Chill says, her reputation is her livelihood, and success depends on strangers' opinions. Yes and no. Her reputation is her livelihood. So let's stick with that. Her reputation is her livelihood. If your reputation is that of being an asshole or being hard to work with, then you might want to, since you can self-diagnose autism, you might want to self-diagnose other things wrong with you to see why if a lot of people are saying that, something is going on. You might want to reach out to some people and say, hey, what is going on? Why don't nobody rock with me? I rock with y'all. I'm trying, you know what I'm saying? Because she might genuinely be really trying to rock with said people. Now, I've heard stories. I've heard stories personal, some people who I know about Amanda Seal, but I'm not here to do all that. But your reputation, like you said, is your livelihood. So you want to repair your reputation. This was the prime spot to repair said reputation. To me, she took it for granted. In the end, she took it for granted because she lied and she's tried to kick Shannon's back in after the interview. And he didn't do nothing to you. So remember, I talked about space, being happy, being in a comfortable space, right? Because nobody wants to be invalidated. Nobody wants that. Nobody. I understand when she said that. Nobody, you know what I'm saying. But sometimes it's not about invalidation. It's this. I'm giving you a different POV. Not trying to invalidate you, just giving you a different POV because it's something she said too, and I'm gonna get to it. She doesn't go by her own code.
Space with you because, to be honest, like I've spent.
Now a lot of people don't know, like around, I want to say like 3 months.
Validated. I don't think anyone.
Like 3 months ago, she went live or put on her stories that she wanted to come on Shannon Sharp's show. This is something she wanted to do. Now, I don't know if he reached out to her, but I know for a fact she wanted to go on his show. That I do know.
Is really okay with that. And I think that also as a Black woman, we are always kind of put in this position of appeasement. Mm-hmm. And how do you not disrupt the space? How do you not disrupt the space? And if you're going to not like me, I would at least like it to be for a legit reason.
Okay.
And I'm so happy to be in this space with you because, to be honest, like I've spent so much time trying to convince people, Shannon, trying to convince people of like, no, that's not what it is. That's not what it is. And it's like, I'm off it.
Yeah.
I'm off it. There is the truth. There is my truth. And a lot of times, baby, it's the same. Mm-hmm. And one of the reasons why you can see that is because when I recount a story, I want you to notice this when I recount stories.
Listen to this.
I very rarely include my feelings.
No feelings.
It's never, I felt that this person did this. I thought that this person did this. It's like reading Game of Thrones. He's just giving you the sequence of events. You don't see the feelings of Catelyn Stark at the fucking Red Wedding until you watch the show, because in the writing, it is just a series of events. That is part of my autism.
So with her saying that, this is what I took from that. When you are just giving what she said out her mouth, a series of events, I don't interject my feelings into it, then give your series of events. And when a person counters that, then it is what it is. Shouldn't be no feelings involved. So when she tells the story of the school teacher that she interrupted and she said it was racism, that feeling that it's racism, that's interjecting feeling into said story. That's interjecting feeling into said story. Right? And I mean, if I'm wrong, let me know if I'm wrong. Maybe, like I said, maybe I'm tripping. Maybe I'm the one tripping. Maybe I'm the one tripping, because if I'm just telling a story with no feelings involved and I'm just trying to give you a series of events, there's no nuance. So another reason I say that is because if you're telling this story to Shannon without any nuance, Shannon needs to understand what's really going on. Because if I just give you A, B, C, D, E, F, G happened, but there's nothing surrounding the reason why said things happened, I'm going to ask questions. It ain't kickback. I'm not trying to combat you. I'm trying to understand your story. Simple. She uses autism like depression. You can feel the emotion, but not be clinically diagnosed. No, that's fine. Look, not being clinically diagnosed, just say that you were not clinically diagnosed. Because like I said, she's going to continuously say she was diagnosed. She's going to say that. She's going to say I was diagnosed. She said it already one time. One time she's already said I was diagnosed. Not I self-diagnosed. Not I sat down on the internet and went through some things and I think these are the things I fall in line with this, so I think I'm autistic. She didn't say that. She said I was diagnosed. Now, if it was me and I did a test online or whatever, I would say, yeah, I would explain that. Especially now, since I'm gonna go off on a tangent about that. This is Autism Awareness Month. This would be the perfect time to shed light on that in a serious way. Not by lying about your diagnosis to maybe try to catch sympathy. Not, I don't know if that's what she's trying to do, but it seems that way. It seems that way because when she, after the interview, once she went live and they asked her, was she clinically diagnosed? She just was like, why the clinically diagnosed? Why the hell would I do that? I'm not paying for that. I don't need that. What? A lot of people was up in arms. A lot of autistic people was up in arms as I'm going through Twitter or X, so to speak, and Reddit. And they was like, that ain't cool. Parents was like, that's not cool. You don't do that. You don't do that. It's real things. It's real people with autism. And it really affects their daily lives every day. And for you to put it on like a costume is kind of disturbing to me. To try to wear that like a costume is disturbing. And then when asked about it, you say, I don't need no real diagnosis. I did it myself. Yeah. Today, it's real nasty today. How you can just, you yourself can just say you are something. Without any second hand opinion, or you can go read a book and say, yeah, that's me. Go read go online and say, yep, that's me. That's me. Imagine self-diagnosing yourself. Imagine self-diagnosing yourself with the flu. Oh, I got the flu. I'll just stay home. Take some cold and flu medicine. I'm good. And come to find out you got Lyme disease. Because guess what? Lyme disease and the flu, they carry similar symptoms. When you want to go and actually see what's wrong with you, they carry similar symptoms. Go see what's wrong with you, lady. If you believe you got autism, go see what's wrong with you. It does not cost $10,000. It does not. Most insurances will cover majority of the cost, if not all. And it's roughly around $3,000 from the information that I gathered from all the people on X and Reddit and social media who have autism, who said that they went and got theirs. It did not cost $10,000. I myself, I'm not even going to add myself because then it seemed like I'm looking for sympathy. I'm not looking for sympathy. But I have ailments too. Right? As we all do, I think. I think if you grew up in North America, chill, I see you out there, Canada too, Mexicans, North Americans, Canadians, I think everybody in post-colonial North America has some type of something. That's what I believe. Let's continue, shall we? So Shannon asked her, this is where Shannon asked straight up, were you diagnosed clinically? He even asked how recent. When did you do this?
Fish. Well, you should have said 5-ish because I was waiting for you at 5.
So let me ask you this. How old were you when you got diagnosed, and did you always feel that you was different and you felt something was wrong?
Well, what's today?
Today is Thursday, the 18th.
So 42 and however many days until I was just recently diagnosed.
Okay.
And this came out of this situation because so many Black women who are autistic said to me, I see you. You need to. And I've always thought, you can look at other interviews. I have mentioned before, like.
What did she say? I'm sorry. What did she say? I was just recently diagnosed. Let's run it again. Because I got some backlash early this morning.
Fish. Well, you should have said 5-ish because I was waiting for you at 5.
So let me ask you this. How old were you when you got diagnosed, and did you always feel that you was different and you felt something was wrong?
Well, what's today?
Today is Thursday, the 18th.
So 42 and however many days until I was just recently diagnosed.
I was just recently diagnosed. She didn't say I just recently self-diagnosed. She said I was recently diagnosed. I don't see how hard there's not a misunderstanding there. There's not oh, you just misheard me or misinterpreted what I said. I said I, Amanda Seals, was just recently diagnosed. Not only that, she tried to put some sauce on it. 42 and some days. How old am I? I'm 42, so some days. So what are we talking about here? A lot of people came at Shannon's neck because he like, wait, what? Because let's keep watching. Keep watching.
Okay.
And this came out of this situation because so many Black women who are autistic said to me, I see you.
I see
you need to. And I've always thought, you can look at other interviews. I have mentioned before, like, I think I'm on the spectrum because I'm an 80s baby. This was not really a part of the narrative.
Right.
And as we started seeing more about autism and you start seeing shows about different characters, and I start learning more like from people like Holly Robinson Peete, I'm like, this feels really like me. But then, I think sometimes we're afraid to learn certain things.
Yeah.
So
60s and 70s babies just got whipped and put to bed.
And to be honest, it's true. And to be honest, I just want to say, like, so my mom, so in this revelation, my mother started looking up like symptoms of autistic children and was like, oh, you exhibited all of this, but I didn't know what to do with this. Mm-hmm. She's a single parent. She's trying to figure it out. But I really just thank my mom because what my mom couldn't show up for me emotionally, I realized that she was able to, at the very least, that's not even fair to say, she was able to still let me be who I am instead of beating it out of me,
right?
Which happens to so many kids who are misunderstood.
So I want to say, the reason I let that rock, because to me that's key. She said her mom let her rock and be who she was without beating it out of her. And then she goes on to tell the story about how she would get around her family. Her family would be like, why y'all just letting that child just run around, yada, yada, yada. And her mom would be like, oh, that's Amanda. She's cool. Let Amanda rock, right? Yeah, Fahim, that's same thing I said. Yeah, her mama diagnosed her. Her mama died. That, and her telling the story, what she just said about her mom, that let me know that there was no discipline in the house. There was no discipline in the house that would help her as an adult. And I don't mean being beat. No, I'm not saying she should have gotten whoopings or anything like that. But there was no discipline. Not necessarily corporal punishment. We don't need none of that. But discipline, knowing how to carry yourself in public settings, right? How you have to share this world with other people. Because that's another thing. I don't think she understands that. You have to share this world with other people. And you yourself is not the majority. Other people are. The field is the majority. You're just one. It's just one Amanda Seals. It's just one Blue. I have to share this world with other people. I have to learn how to get along with other people. And it's not, oh, y'all just don't like that I'm super duper real and I tell the truth. It's not that. I know a lot of people who are super duper real and tell the truth. And people like them. People enjoy their company. People love to sit down and listen to the stories they tell. People can have discussions with said people and differences of opinion with these people. And it not be made about that person. And that person isn't saying, oh, I'm a victim. Oh, woe is me. The thing about Amanda is she will not rewrite the narrative that the people have stuck on her. This interview was the prime time to tell all the dope stuff that you do. Not get into the weeds with the mess. This was not the time to get into the mess. Tell me how dope Amanda Seals is. Tell me what you're working on now. Talk about the good stuff. Talk about the good things that happened as you came up, not the bad. Everywhere this woman went, she's got a story of how she's talked about, and I don't think I clipped it later on in the interview. I just want to bring this up, but she talked about how she went to college in the college suite. Before anybody even knew who she was, they took her name tag down and threw it on the floor. No pretext to that. Right? We don't get no nuances. Like you said, I'm just giving you an event. But we don't get no nuance to that. We don't get, well, why did they do that? Oh, they just didn't like me. She said she bought a bottle of tequila and told them, hey, we just gonna sit here, take these shots, and y'all tell me why y'all don't like me. And then she said that they proceeded to tell her, oh, you think you all that, you think you'll know it all, yada, yada, yada. But my question is, why, before you even got to your dorm or got to your suite in college, they ripped your name tag off? And these are people who didn't even know you, Amanda. Why would they do that? That ain't strange. That ain't strange to nobody. That ain't strange. I don't know. Like I said, if I'm tripping, y'all let me know if I'm tripping. Because I only want to see her do good. Hopefully, if she comes across this, maybe I can play the conscience for her. Amanda, I'll be your conscience, and I'll let you know, hey, look, no, let's tread lightly here. Let's go over here. And maybe she needs that person in her corner. Maybe she needs a friend in her corner to help steer her ship, to be her anchor, her North Star, so to speak, because a lot of this stuff just don't add up. A lot of it just don't add up. Autism or not, it don't add up. Just don't add up. So then this is where Shannon. So I'm gonna just let it rock. I'm gonna just let this one rock because she talks about her father. This is the autism talk right here. This is where she really gets into the autism bag.
You know, like, and she's West Indian, Laja Palgredida Massive. And so, like, I'm over here being this precocious, you know, loquacious child that's always talking. And they're telling her, like, why you letting her just do all this talking and all of that? Why she's too fresh? She's too fresh. Why you doing all? Why you letting her just run she mouth so? And my mom is like, that's Amanda. Like, let her live.
Right.
And let's be real, most parents.
That's what happened.
No. Shut it up.
Mm-hmm.
If my father had lived with me, I would never have been the person I am now.
Now never mind.
Because he wouldn't have been able to handle it. And I believe that he is autistic too. He's because he's brilliant.
Right.
He was never seen the way he needed to be seen. And so it turned into narcissism.
But you can be brilliant without being autistic though, right?
Hell yeah.
So okay, so now this is where Shannon is kind of seeing through what she's talking about. I think Shannon now is like, hold on, everything ain't autistic. Like I said, Shannon ain't stupid. Shannon got a degree too, criminal justice. It's not an African American studies degree, but he got a degree. Okay, he ain't no dummy, and he done been around for a while. This is where he's like, all right. Seem like to me she's just saying that if you just a little different, then you got autism. That's what Shannon is. Shannon is like, oh, just because he was different, he got autism. Just because you think of different or look at things different, you got autism. That don't necessarily mean you got autism.
1000%.
Okay.
Absolutely.
But just
because I'm both.
But
I'm gifted and autistic.
Yes, but Amanda, sometimes, just because you have a special gift, that doesn't mean that, you have a spectrum or you have just because you see things differently, it doesn't mean that you're on the spectrum or you.
This isn't related to simply how I see things. This is related to how my brain functions.
Yes. But just because your brain functions differently from, say, mine.
Yes.
So you feel just because your brain functions differently that's what caused it, or there's a clinical diagnosis that
there are clinical diagnoses
for you.
Okay, here we go again. So she says, yes, there are clinical diagnoses. Then he said, for you. For you, have you been clinically diagnosed? Now watch let's run this back just a little bit. Where we at? 1308.
From, say, mine.
Yes.
So you feel just because your brain functions differently that's what caused it, or there's a clinical diagnosis that
there are clinical diagnoses
for you.
Yes, there are clinical diagnoses for autism. Yes.
Yeah, I know
when you
see how fast she talks.
You take the tests. When you take the test, you're like, hold up, I've been thinking my whole life that this was a problem.
So, right there, did she answer his question? Yes. Because he said for you, and she said yes. And then she said there are clinical diagnoses for autism. Was she deflecting? Was she trying to purposely not answer that question? And hit him with, you know what I'm saying, with the whammy? Let me know. Matter of fact, y'all let me know what you think, because she, like I said, got on her live after that and said that she was never diagnosed and that she self-diagnosed herself. Right? She got on her live and was like, no, I self-diagnosed myself. Then she put a post up. Where's the post? See if I can find the post real quick. To where she explains why she lied. She doubles down on the lie. Let me see if I can find it. Here we go.
They cut out at the end, he was asking, no, I have not been clinically diagnosed by a doctor because I'm not paying $10,000 to do that. And most people will tell you that at this age, you don't need a clinical diagnosis in that sense. And I think that's the other thing. It's like, we are so conditioned.
Was that a lie? So y'all heard her say, no, I was not clinical. And if y'all been following me since I started this live, I showed y'all 3 times to where she said that she was diagnosed. 3 times she said that she was diagnosed. 3 times she said she was diagnosed. But that's the thing, right, Fahim? That's the thing. That's the thing. That's the manipulation of it. Because the first 2 times she did you right. She just said, I was diagnosed. I was diagnosed. That don't necessarily mean that she was clinically diagnosed. Shannon asked you, were you diagnosed? You said yes. Ellipses. Yes, there is a clinical diagnosis for, that's what she said, right? She was by I self-diagnosed Parker ourselves, right? So then, like I said, she made a post. This is what the post says. It goes over. Let me see. Let me blow this up for y'all so y'all can see it. It says, Shannon, but have you been clinically diagnosed? Me. Yes. Period. There is a clinical diagnosis for autism. He then hung his head and exhaled in frustration because I did not answer his question. She knows what she's doing. This is called deflection. Why? Because I was not going to be pressured by this man who was interrogating me with absolutely zero love for me into proving something to him that by his line of questioning, he had already committed to undermine. Now, y'all are watching what I'm showing y'all. Did it look like he was undermining her? Did it look like he didn't have love for her? If y'all been following me, she said she felt comfortable. If y'all been following me, around the 8:40 mark, she said, I am so happy to be in this space with Shannon. Remember, she does things literal. Her autism says that she does things literal. Her autism says she does things literal. She says, I understand my response may be confusing to some, but I'm clarifying it as I did in my live, and that is enough. No, it's not. It's not 5 pages. That's going through. They had this is Hip Hop Wire, Hip Hop New Wire, hotnewhiphop.com, and they just put a lot of clips together. This is from or the Neighborhood Talk. This is from their Instagram. It was just this one post when it comes to that. But she retweeted a lot of people, or she reposted a lot of people dragging Shannon, saying Shannon was stupid. Shannon doesn't know how to interview. You go, girl, you show Shannon. Like, this was directly after this interview. She went and started basically kicking Shannon's back in. She said, then she got on her podcast and said, I knew Shannon played himself when yada, 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 yada. Now he got on his podcast and was like, I enjoyed the interview. I like her, yada, yada, yada. The other two little knuckleheads, well, really just one knucklehead, Gil, it was kind of valid, but they didn't have to talk about that, so to speak. You know, said some things, but he had nothing but glaring remarks for Amanda Seales. He had nothing but glaring remarks. She came and kicked his back in after the interview. That's what a lot of people say. A lot of people say she narcissistic, wants attention. Everything has to revolve around her no matter what. I want to get in. So that's the autism situation. Let me bring it back up. I need to present the whole screen is what I need to do. You stay woke. I'm gonna do this whole screen. So she says about having rage. Rage is that emotion that will most definitely get you in trouble. She talks about having a fight and winning said fight. And Shannon was like, how did you win the fight? She says, I have rage. Rage is what I have. I don't want to put, she's a black woman. I don't want to give her that angry black woman stigma, but she is putting it on herself. I have rage. And I think she attacks situations that way. Her problem-solving skills, her conflict resolution is lacking. She has rage. And when all it took for me, I think when after she went live after the interview dropped, she went live. And I think all it took was one person to say, girl, that man tried to invalidate you. And she ran with that because she needed to be the victim some type of way. Instead of saying, you know what? I had a good interview with Shannon. I'm not going to do that. The interview was good. It was a little rocky at first. We hugged it out at the end because that's what happened. Y'all hugged it out at the end. She also talks about phoniness and how she won't be phony and hug people that she don't like. But she hugged Shannon at the end. Not only that, Shannon had tried to hug her early when he was trying, hey, look, he tried to set her at ease because they got into the whole thing. And you know, let's go into this. Let's go into the teacher situation. Let's go into the teacher situation. Oh, y'all can't hear? Hold on. My bad. I'm gonna have to take it back. Let me run it back. My bad, y'all. My bad.
You know what the parent-teacher conferences were about?
What?
Amanda is sticking up for other kids in the class. Amanda is correcting me. Like I had a teacher, Miss Schwenk, who who called a conference because she was talking about Aboriginal art.
Mhm.
And she said that she stood in front of the class and said, you know, that the Aborigines are a Stone Age people. And I was like, ma'am, there are Aboriginals alive right now. Like they are a part of civilization. Like, what are you talking about? And she's like, well, no, you know, what I mean is that they've never advanced. And we're in a classroom in Orlando, Florida. So like, if we don't check this type of stuff, it's going to just continue. So I was that student. Like I was the kid who was always raising my hand and just wasn't easily appeased by simply just someone being an authority.
Right.
And now
remember, she said she wasn't easily appeased by people being an authority. That's because she knew no authority in her house. Just to circle back on that, remember her mama let her do anything she wanted, so she didn't know anything about authority. And I think that's why she got upset that's why she got or felt like that Shannon was being combative in this situation.
I love this because when she called my mom and said, you know, I'd like to set a conference up because I have some complaints about Amanda. My mom said, well, you know, that's interesting because Amanda has some complaints about you. And so
Shannon is being accommodating, laughing. He's enjoying the story.
Came to the meeting. It was my mom and Mr. Wright and Miss Cersei. It's all Black people at Dr. Phillips High School in Orlando, Florida. And this lady sat there and actually you and Mr. Wright had the same build. And Mr. Wright was like, all right, so, you know, we're here to discuss Amanda disrupting the class with her talking. And she was like, no, Amanda doesn't disrupt the class with her talking. She actually helps the other students out. He's like, oh, okay. So is it about her grades? And she's like, actually, no, one of her art pieces is featured in our exhibit at the library. And he's like, so what are we here for? And she's like, well, you know, she corrects me in front of the class. And these three Black people are like, here we go with this racist bullshit, you know, because that's really what it is. We're in Florida in the 80s and the 90s. And
but let me ask you this.
Now, before I let Shannon get into what he got to say, she's saying it's racist bullshit, and it could be. But let's look at the power dynamic in Dr. Phillips High School in racist ass Orlando, Florida during the 80s and the 90s, because she keeps saying that, so I'm gonna say it too. White lady, 3 Black people in charge. She said it was 3 other Black people. Those were the people in charge. I'm guessing the principal or dean, whoever. These are the people who are in charge. This one white lady. Where does she think this complaint is going to go if it is racially motivated? How far does this go with these 3 Black people in the position that they are in? This is what I'm asking. This is what I ask myself, and this is what I also ask y'all. Because I'm just looking, and maybe I'm looking at it the wrong way. Because like I said, maybe it was racist. Maybe it was racially motivated. But how far does that go? That can't really go anywhere. If the only thing I can hang my racist ass hat on when it comes to Amanda Seals and racist ass Orlando, Florida at Dr. Phillips Dr. Phillips Elementary School is that no, she just interrupts me when I'm teaching. She just corrects me when I'm teaching. I don't know if any of y'all got teacher friends or are teachers. You have to have a certain authority that you have to. Now, I was in the military. Was a leader myself, a teacher myself, so to speak. Once you are undermined by said subordinate, because she as a kid in elementary school and the teacher, you are what's considered a subordinate. You are up under the teacher. If I let Amanda son me like this, and I'm pretty sure she was constantly doing it. That's what she said. She would constantly do it. If I let you son me in front of all these students, then other students are going to want to start sunning me. Going to want to start correcting me. I can't let that happen. Now, the teacher, if you want to say the teacher didn't necessarily have to call the principal and all this, yeah. Maybe. Let's see what Shannon got to say.
Do you think she would have felt equally as offended if a white kid, because I'm assuming this teacher was white, right?
Mm-hmm.
If a white child would have corrected her, I think most teachers would feel some type of way if a child corrects them.
That's not for me to surmise. I'm just saying that my experience was this lady giving wrong information.
Yeah.
And I'm allowed to correct it. Now, this is the same lady who tried to accuse me of stealing. And when a white girl said, no, Amanda didn't steal it, I did. She was like, well, I think both of you need to go to the principal.
Right.
Now I'm pausing it there because you see how she had to add another story to try to get Shannon to understand race. If the teacher was racist, the better story was the second story. The better story was the second story. Man, Miss Schwank show was racist. I remember this one time where I got accused of stealing. And even though I said I didn't steal whatever was stolen, and the white girl who was in the class with me raised her hand and rogered up and said, nah, Miss Schwank, Amanda didn't do it. It was me. And I still got in trouble for it. You know what? Now that sounds a little racially biased. That sounds racially biased. But when you got to add on to something that doesn't sound racist just to try to make it seem racist, you're just trying to validate your story that wasn't racist. Fahim says, been there at the time in Panama City, Florida in the 80s, you could get called nigger from school bus full of kids, but what she's saying doesn't sound like that. And yeah, validate her belief in racism. And like I said, I don't know if it might have been racist. May have been. I don't know. But remember, she only tells stories without her feelings involved. Except for this one. This one has all the feelings involved, right? The feelings of racism. The feelings of prejudice. And I'm not saying that to invalidate her experience, because she's going to get on Shannon about, oh, you trying to invalidate my experience.
I'm in Orlando, Florida, which is a notoriously racist state, Florida.
Of course, she got, again, how many times has she said she's in racist ass Orlando, Florida in the 80s and 90s?
In the 90s, and I'm talking to you about a white woman who is speaking about Black people, indigenous people in a country where those same indigenous people have had all of their land taken from them by former criminals that were sent there from England. And she is calling them Stone Age people. And I, as a Black girl, the only Black girl in her class, am correcting her.
But
now my question is, because I laughed at that. I want y'all to tell, if all my 80s babies out there, if you were born in, me and Amanda Seals is around the same age. I want to know, what did y'all know about Australia in elementary school? Did y'all know that there was a prison colony and the prisoners stole land from the Aborigines? Did you know that? Did that emotionally motivate you to seek said Australia, stories of Australia and Aborigine? Because what I knew of Australia in the 4th, 5th grade, Crocodile Dundee was rocking at the time. Boomerangs. Outback Steakhouse. Right? No, she's not lying about the history. She's not lying about it. She is absolutely right. I learned about it from a person who was from New Zealand, and they spoke about, the indigenous people over there. And I want to say that was a little bit later. That might have been 6th grade, might have been 5th grade. I don't know. But were you emotionally invested into, I gotta speak up because these colonists came and took these black people's land, and I'm a black woman or I'm a black girl, and I'm looking around and I'm the only black face here? Is that something that you think that you would see? I don't know. I'm just asking. I'm really asking for my own edification. Fahim, were you emotionally invested in the 5th grade about Australia being a penal colony and then those prisoners getting free and taking over the Aboriginal land? Pam, were you emotionally invested in Australia as a penal colony to where the prisoners, once they were freed, took over the Aboriginal land? That's all I'm asking. Does this sound like something that would happen or that would get a child up in arms with that much emotional investment? Now, remember, like I said, she's supposed to be just telling these stories as they are with no emotional, with no emotions involved, no feelings involved. Just want to caveat that, throw that back out there.
My thing is, you're right. She possibly misspoke or she didn't know.
I guess my question to you is, why do you even feel compelled at this juncture in this interview? Why would you even feel compelled to try to?
Because I don't want, because I'm not defending, but my thing is that what I'm trying to say, most adults, when kids correct them or speak, feel some type of way. This is not unique to a black, white, or white, black. Okay. That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
I'm sorry that you took it that way. But I remember when I was growing up, my grandparents and parents says, hey, kids, stay in your place. Adults are speaking. That's all. Maybe that didn't happen where you were from in Orlando, Florida. But where I grew up, when I grew up, kids did not correct adults. So
you saw the look she gave? Did you see the look she gave him? She gave him that look because she doesn't understand that notion. She doesn't understand kids don't correct adults. And that could be draconian, could be arcane, it could be a bad way to look at things. But all Shannon is doing is adding his point of view. I couldn't correct my mom growing up in the 80s. My father, my teacher, that wasn't a normal thing. That wasn't something that was just, oh, okay, cool. Well, we know he's smart. I consider myself well-read, educated. I've corrected teachers, and I've also caught the backlash of correcting said teacher. Didn't make it racist. Didn't make it racist. I thought he navigated it well too. He didn't get upset. His posture is still open. He's still showing that I'm still trying to talk to you and have a civil conversation. Her demeanor.
When I was growing up, my grandparents and parents said, hey, kids, stay in your place. Adults are speaking. That's all. Maybe that didn't happen where you were from in Orlando, Florida. But where I grew up when I grew up, kids did not correct adults.
Look at that. Look at her face. That wasn't, was that Shannon being combative? Was that him being combative? Or was that just offering another POV? Let me keep going, because I'm trying to wrap this up. I'm going to do a little bit more. Let me see. This right here really hit on a thing with me. This ain't gonna be that long on this one, but she talks about being a scholar of race, an expert in racism. And I was like, what? What is an expert in racism? Girl, you got an African American studies degree. That doesn't make you an expert in racism, right? Am I wrong? Am I looking at that wrong?
I'm in Colorado, I'm just getting a whole other experience. And, for all intents and purposes, and I just want to also just bring this to light for you because this is going to be a theme throughout this interview.
Okay.
I am a scholar of race.
Okay.
I'm not just someone who experiences it.
Right.
I'm a scholar. I'm an academic of race. So I see the world through a particular lens because I am skilled at doing so and because I'm an expert at doing so. Like my master's isn't just in African American studies. It's the fact that I was taught by some of the greatest thought leaders of our time.
Mm-hmm.
So when you hear me say these things, I would just like to ask that because you have someone who is an expert sitting in front of you, to just consider versus be combative, because there may be an opportunity here to see something differently because you have someone with you who is not just experiencing race, but is also examining. And there's a different intellectualism about that. You know what I mean? There's different intellectualism about that. And I say that also because that's why I went and got my master's. Okay. I went and got my master's because I know that we live in a world that loves to try and find ways to undermine Black people's minds. They love to find ways.
Isn't she doing that? She basically saying, hey, stupid nigga. Hey, dumbass nigga. The fuck you talking to? I'm an expert on this shit. Look before what you see sitting before you is an expert, dumbass nigga. I went and got my master's so I can make sure that everything is racist, dumbass nigga. Look at me. Columbia, fool. Where you went? Savannah State? It's Columbia up in here. Prestigious white college. African American studies. What do you know about racism? I'm an expert. Do you know where I'm from? Shannon Sharp. I'm from racist ass Orlando, Florida. Where you from, Shannon Sharp? Where? Georgia? The back outside of Savannah, like rural Georgia, like where they actually could like make you disappear in the middle of the night and nobody would say anything type? Georgia, is that what you? Oh. But I'm from racist Orlando, Florida. You from the country in Georgia, like where the white folks is still out there with hoods and doing those type of things. I didn't. What are you talking about, Amanda Seals? What are you talking about? Amanda, you from the home of Mickey Mouse. You from Mickey Mouse's house. And you talking to Shannon Sharp about racism. That is funny to me. That is really funny to me. You talking about this man who grew up in rural Georgia in the 60s and the 70s. But you from racist ass Orlando, Florida? Oh, man. And he's supposed to respect that. He's supposed to take his lived experience. He's supposed to take his lived experience, set that aside, and bow down to the greatness of Amanda Seals because she's from racist ass Orlando, Florida. Oh man. Woo. Oh man. I know what Gainesville is. I know all about Georgia. My family from Georgia. I went to high school in Georgia, Albany, Georgia. Well, you can call it rural, you can call it city. It's kind of like an in-between. It's the biggest city in Southwest Georgia is Albany, Georgia. Savannah's like like a second home to me, so I know exactly where Shannon Sharp is. You know what I'm saying? The area he's from outside of Savannah, things like that. It's just she goes on, and I wish if I can find it. She talks about hubris. She says I love words, Shannon. Shannon, I love words. And then went on to give the wrong definition to hubris because she was mad that the blogs talked about her being a victim of her own hubris, which I think she is. I totally 1000% think that she is a victim of her own hubris. But she went off to give the definition or the origin for the word narcissist. But this is when you have super smart people who are they're so smart that they dumb. They're so educated that they are stupid. And I'm going to try to find that clip. I'm going to really try to find that clip because that really drove it home for me to how she's not thinking about said things. You know what I'm saying? But let's get into the Black Emmys because it's a lot. I got a lot that I want to fish through with the whole Black Emmys party, which kind of really made her look real silly in my eyes. And I'm not trying to make her look silly, but certain things you can deduce, you know what I'm saying? Hold on. Where we at? Here we go.
I am delightful.
What did you do?
I arrived.
Okay, you arrived. Okay, you're inside.
No. So here's
At the Emmys party. Damn, we can't take you nowhere. What'd you do?
I go to a lot of places because I'm lovable.
Because she was talking about her friend.
Stories.
Shay Shay.
I remember my really good friend, my Ace Boone Coon. She used to hear me tell stories. And she would be like, and she revealed this later. She was like, I would say to myself, she must be leaving something out. There's no way this could have happened this way.
Right.
She must.
Even her own friend, her Ace Boone Coon was like, girl, you lying like a mother. What you leaving out? Ain't no way all this is happening to you. What are you leaving out? Right? So even her own friend has told her that. I can't believe her own, you know what I'm saying? What you leaving out? That's because she needs to do some self-reflection and some self-heal. Like a lot of people do. A lot of men, a lot of women need to go and do some self-reflection, self-healing so they can understand what's going on.
Must be leaving something out until I got kicked out that Emmys party.
What'd you do to get kicked out of the Emmys party? Damn, we can't take you nowhere. What'd you do?
I go to a lot of places because I'm lovable and people like me and I'm delightful. I am delightful.
What did you do?
I arrived.
Okay, you arrived. Okay, you're inside.
No. So here's how it went. So because Hollywood is just so inundated with whiteness, there was this conglomeration of folks that came together to say, you know what, we're going to have a Black Emmys party. Because, have you been to the Emmys parties?
I've never been to an Emmys party.
So they're just very blah. Like, it's just a bunch of people sitting around like, am I right?
Yeah.
Am I right? Oh my God. Kirsten. Like, that's the vibe.
Yeah.
But when we party, we want to have a little bit more fun to it. Call me nice. So what up, Derek? So
in this whole interview, she name drops. She name drops this whole interview. I didn't like that. She talked about all the, some of the people she's dated, she name dropped famous rappers she's dated, all the things like that. And I'm like, why are you name dropping? Like, why are you name dropping so much? Stop that. Just stop name dropping. You can leave. You can leave said people out. Why are you name dropping? Let me see. Get some of these. What she's leaving out is that the women throwing the Black Emmy party were feuding for the better part of the year. Are we gonna get into that? Because she's leaving, like you said, she's leaving a lot of this Emmy party story out to make you feel a little pity on her. Why not? What up? Why not? Says, yeah, because they don't want to be mentioned. Right. Like, why are you name dropping so much?
In 2018 was the first one where they had a Black Emmys party.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, it's like everybody who done been to all them other parties.
Come in this one.
Yes. And I went to that party with Jill Scott. And one of the people that planned that party was Issa Rae's publicist, Vanessa Anderson. So she was one of the planners of the party. But there's a bunch of people involved in planning this party.
So let me give y'all some, since she won't give you the backstory and context and to this. Vanessa Anderson, who is Issa Rae's publicist, it's her party. It's not a whole bunch of people involved. She's throwing the party. Just to let you know, this is Vanessa Anderson's party. It's not a whole bunch of people got together and said, hey, Black Emmys, dog, let's do this. No, it's Vanessa Anderson. Do this party. That's it. And it's not, I don't even want to call it a Black Emmys party. It's just a party where a whole bunch of Black people were after the Emmys. She's making it seem like if you're Black, you can show up at this party. If you are at Black Hollywood, you can just show up at this party uninvited. Because it's a Black Emmys party. I should be able to get there. It's Black. You Black. I'm Black. We can go. Just want to throw that out there.
Correct.
So I show up with Jill, and Jill's manager was like, hey, can we? And I remember hearing Vanessa go like, oh, come on, Amanda. Mind you, I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing wrong right here.
Right.
Like, I'm just standing with Jill Scott.
Right.
But nonetheless, we came to the party. We had a great time. So, and I said to Issa, like, I don't know what's going on with your publicist, but like, she got something wrong. She got a problem with me. And she was like, that's between y'all.
Okay.
I said, well, it's not really between y'all because I don't have a problem with her.
Right.
But she seems to have a problem with me. And she was like, that's none of my business.
Okay.
Okay. So now next year is 2019. And it was interesting because in 2018, it was packed like a dick in front of that place. In 2019, there was like nobody there. But I was at the HBO party, and every Black person I saw, I would tell them, make sure you go to the Black Emmys party because I am about creating community and I want us to be together.
Right.
So I pull up with my homegirl, Kathia, and Kendrick Sampson, who's on Insecure. You know, the show where I don't have any friends?
Yeah.
So I pull up with Kendrick Sampson. So we get to the door, and I learned later that she just is white passing, but this is a Mexican girl, but like she looked like a white girl. Mm-hmm. Okay. So she at the door for the
Emmys.
For what kind of party?
Emmys Black Party.
There you go.
So you see what she just tried to do there? So, and I'm gonna play when she went live, when she got kicked out. I got all the receipts on both parties. I got it all. But she's trying to make it seem like she was like, oh, and this white girl, come to find out she's not white. She was Mexican. She was just white passing. But she made it seem like, what is this lady, or how can this lady who is working the door, just doing her job with whatever list she got, how can she tell me not to enter a Black Emmys party? You ain't Black, lady. You can't tell me what to do at this Black Emmys party. That's what she is trying to tell us. It's a Black Emmys party. What is this white lady doing? She can't tell me nothing. Who was working the door? Who was just the hired help? It must be racist. How can this white lady tell me about this Black Emmys party that I was invited to by Jesse Williams? Who it is not his party to really be inviting people to.
So she tells us, you can go in, you can go in, you can't go in. Now I think she's talking to my friend because my friend is a realtor.
Right.
And she says, no, you can't go in. And I said, well, why can't I go in? She says, you're just on the list to not be able to go in. Now, I had also been invited to this party directly by Jesse Williams.
Right.
So Jesse Williams had texted me and said, please come to the Black Emmys party.
Right.
Okay. So I'm like, all right, I'm gonna come to the Black Emmys party. Yeah, of course. Like, that's what I am about. So I come to the party and I'm like, okay, why am I not being let in? Kendrick says, I'm gonna go look. I'm gonna go look around and see why you're not being let in.
Now, if y'all don't know who Kendrick is, Kendrick, if you watched Insecure, he was the light-skinned guy who had like Issa during the last 3 seasons, I think. The light-skinned dude who was from Texas. That's who Kendrick is. He was allowed to go in. He was invited. Just want to put that out there. He was invited.
Well, baby, I'm not standing outside no party.
Right.
So I head out. But then I'm stopped by this brother, Joey Harris, who works with Janet Jackson. Joey's like one of these people who's just always, his disposition is just always like glowing. It's kind of like Jordan.
More name dropping. Now, from what I recall when all this happened, nobody came to her defense during this situation. Nobody came to her defense during this situation. None of them. Jesse Williams, Kendrick, what's his name? Jason, I think it was his name, who she just brought up. It's another person she gonna bring up. None of them came to her defense.
Right.
So he's like, where you going? I'm like, oh, they said they won't let me in the party. He's like, absolutely not. Come on back. We gonna get you in this party. Okay. So we come back. And so this is an example of someone trying to protect and look out, right? So he brings me back and he's like, why are you not letting her in the party? By the way, at this time, I'm hosting Bring the Funny on NBC.
Right.
There is a billboard the size of a hotel 2 blocks away with me and my co-stars on the show, Chrissy Teigen, Jeff Foxworthy, and Kenan Thompson. And can I just put a pin in this really quick to give them their props?
I like this story. These are the stories that she should have told. This sounds like an endearing story. This sounds like I had a good time on the show, but she had to throw a monkey wrench into it.
I had a real hard time on Insecure, and I'll get to that. But being on this show was so affirming because everyone there was so just happy to be happy. And I hadn't experienced that on that set. Like from the showrunner to the writers to my stage manager, Roger, to my co-stars, like I just got to be myself.
Right.
And it really let me know it's not you, it's the environment. And I don't get to talk enough about like the positive shit because people are always so attracted to the negative.
Yeah.
But I remember day one, Chrissy Teigen, we had to do rehearsals for the first day and they had me in these stilettos, Shannon. Oh my God. Like I would have had to go in the whirlpool. Yes, the feet were crying. And I had an injury from these fucking stilettos. And the next day, Chrissy Teigen brought a foot massage from Sharper Image and left it in my dressing room for the duration of the shoot. Like that's the kind of people, just generous for no reason. Right. And we just had a blast. We had such a good time. And I remember Jeff Foxworthy one time, they wanted us to do this ad where we had to pass around a drink. And I don't drink. So it's like, I don't mind.
Why not? Says the title of the article, Shannon Sharp let Cat Williams go off on Club Shay Shay, but didn't do the same for Amanda Seales on the Club Shay Shay host was combative and devalued the entertainer's experience. Does this seem like he's not letting her go off? She's just talking. She's just rambling. I don't know what are they talking about being combative? She is going off. She is letting us know why people don't like her. That's what a lot of people didn't really understand or decode from this. We're seeing in live 1080 or whatever, you know what I'm saying, how many pixels on your phone or whatever. We seeing this. We seeing it.
Drinks being around, but like me pretending like I drink ain't my jive.
Right.
So I was like, I just don't feel comfortable doing this. Now it becomes a thing. This is how I get labeled difficult. Because we didn't get any prep for this, but you need to go along with whatever they give you. Didn't you know that? Whatever they give you, you're supposed to do.
No.
Well, when you're a woman, it's even more quit stirring up trouble. So Jeff Foxworthy saw shit going left and he stepped in and he said, yeah, I don't feel comfortable with it either.
Wow.
He used his fame, his white manness, he used his disposition to just take the heat off me. He said, I got you. To this day, I really want to do a show with Jeff Foxworthy. We would just like fish and talk shit. Like that's a goal I want to do. So let me know if you want to produce it.
You ever been fishing?
I've been present while someone is fishing, but I have not been given a rod.
So you hadn't had a rod or a pole in your hand. So
but I have dated men from the South. I have been present and had crappie cooked for me. Yes.
Let's get back to
fish for,
the story of Black
NCAA football. But of the party. So they can't stop.
Okay.
But he's in a party.
Right.
So I texted him. Diver, so I know a lot about fish. And then at one point it was like, I'm gonna learn everything I know about dogs. And now I'm gonna learn everything I need to know about Game of Thrones. I'm gonna learn everything I need to know about, NCAA football. But I do know a lot about fish.
So you say
because I'm in the middle of a story and sometimes I veer off, but I always come back.
Because I want to make sure we get to your insecure role.
So I just wanted to shout that out because Bring the Funny was a beautiful experience and it was super, super duper dope. So when we're here and Joey Harris is trying to get me in this party, the white girl says again, the white passing girl says again, yeah, no, she can't come to the party. So Joey's like, let me go inside and figure out what's going on. Again, I'm not about to stand out here.
Right.
So I started to walk away again, and now Elijah Kelly comes out. He's like, hey, where you going? I said, they not trying to let me in this party.
Name dropped everybody.
That I was invited to.
Right.
By Jesse Williams.
By Jesse Williams.
Did you attempt to call Jesse?
Did I attempt to call Jesse? I texted him.
Okay.
But he's in a party.
Right.
So I texted him. So then Elijah is like, well, I'm one of the planners of the party. So they can't stop they can't stop me from bringing you in.
Right.
So he starts to bring me in and homegirl grabs my arm. But I remember when I told you I've been in New Yorker since I was 12? I had to shake that off.
Yeah. Lose me.
Yeah. Crazy. So we go in the party and I go and sit down. No, sorry. I go in the party. I go by the bar. My homegirl goes to the bathroom. I'm standing by the bar and a security guard approaches me. A security guard your size approaches me and says, hey, I'm going to have to ask you to leave. And I said, well, why do I need to leave? And he said, because you're being asked to leave. I said, well, who's asking me to leave? He said, well, let me go find out.
Well, why did he ask? Well, I mean, you came and say something, they're asking you to leave and you don't know who's asking me to leave. You got to go find out.
He was given an order.
Yeah.
So
doing his job.
Now he comes back and he says, Vanessa Anderson is asking you to leave. I said, well, you need to find Vanessa and have her come tell me herself.
Is that Issa Rae's publicist?
Yes. I said, well, you need to have Vanessa come and find me and tell me herself. So he then leaves again and comes back with 3 other men. And one of the men now is a brother and he's walking towards me cursing. So he's literally walking towards me saying, you need to get the out of here. You need to leave. And I'm like, mind you, I'm dressed down, honey. Okay. And he's like, you need to leave. Now, Kathia was in the bathroom. She's now just come up and I'm looking around and I can see people seeing the ruckus. Right. So I'm like, why do I have to leave? Because we said so. So there's like violent energy and language coming towards me. Right. I ain't no sucker. Okay. And but I'm also not stupid. I can't fight for men. So, like, I mean,
right.
So the first one, who was kind, he had come up right here, but then the other three were right here. So I have to realize I've lost this fight.
Mm-hmm.
So I pivot to leave, but I pivot really fast because I'm going to still say my mother piece. So when I pivot and I say, I pivot to go, you, I guess they thought I was about to do something. So the white guy steps in between me and the brother and chest bumps me and throws me back.
Right.
So now this is an assault because I hadn't raised my hand to do anything to anybody. So luckily I'm nimble in a heel. So but now it's like, now I've been assaulted. So your natural response. So I'm about to go Super Saiyan on these motherfuckers. It's Goku over here. I'm like,
Yeah.
And I hear in one ear, I hear the security guard saying, please, Amanda, don't do it. And it feels like, please, Miss Celia, don't do it. Don't be like me, Miss Celia. Don't be like Miss Sophia. And then in the other ear, I have my homegirl who's from the Bronx, like, what the f- is going on? This is some bullshit. And all I'm hearing is beep. But I look around and I see nobody coming to my aid.
Dang.
All these agents and people that I see around. Now, none of them are Insecure. None of them are the actors from Insecure.
Mm-hmm.
But there's people whose faces I still remember. And they will not get a hug in a party either. I just refused somebody a hug the other day for this. And I realized, like, you got to go. So we walk outside and the security guard says to me, I'm so sorry. Like, I'm just doing my job. And I said, I feel you, but you have to ask yourself, is it worth doing a job that makes you go against your moral compass?
Wow.
And he was like, damn. So I hope he left that job because he could tell that he was mixed up in some bullshit. So we're in a back alley, like waiting for a car, and I'm crying because this feels like, I've been humiliated and I didn't do nothing.
Bad.
And that was the night that me and my homegirl became super, like, that became my sister. Because she was like, when you would tell me that shit would happen to you, I would think she must be keeping something out.
Right.
But I literally just watched you do nothing. You literally just came somewhere you were invited.
Right.
And even though.
All right. Let me stop that. She said she literally did nothing. She said she literally did nothing. And Mika, I guess Mika's thinking that I'm trying to hate on this girl. I'm not trying to hate on. I've been rocking with Amanda Seales for a long time. Long time. But if my brother or my sister can't call me on the bullshit that I do or hold me accountable, then I'm just going to be out here looking silly, looking stupid. Mika, if I'm out here looking silly, looking stupid, I hope that you would stop me from out here looking silly and looking stupid and stepping on my dick in an interview like this. Because that's exactly what she's doing. She's stepping on her dick. She said she didn't do nothing. She said she didn't do nothing. She was not wrong in this situation. I want y'all to understand this. She said she was not wrong in trespassing at this party that she was not invited to. She did not do nothing wrong, though. See, that's where we go wrong. She's sitting up there saying she didn't do nothing wrong. If people would call her out and say, hey, look, homegirl, her homegirl should have said, look, man, you wasn't invited. We both up here looking silly. You wasn't invited. Jesse Williams, it's not his show. It's not his party. She kept hollering, oh, Jesse Williams. Where was Jesse Williams? Wanna know why Jesse Williams didn't show up to your defense? Because you wasn't invited. He can't invite you. It's not his shit to invite you to. You were on the do not enter list. Do you know what it means for you to be on the do not enter list? That means you did some shit. I wonder how many other people was on the do not enter list. I'm not hating on Amanda Seales. I want her to look in the mirror, be introspective about the situations that she's saying. You were on the do not enter list. There was a list with your name on it. But you proceeded to go in anyway because people was telling you, oh, you can come in. And then when the person whose party it is got security to get you out, you said that you were assaulted. Amanda, you was trespassing. You was trespassing. Just because it's black folks at this party don't mean that you can come to this party. You already had smoke with the person who's throwing the party. Let's go back to what she initially said when it happened back in the day. Right? Where is it at? That ain't it. That ain't it. What did initially happen back in the day? So she got on I guess this was a podcast, Side Effects of Professionalism. Amanda said she wanted to address the situation which went viral in order to process the damage. In doing so, she outed Issa's publicist, Vanessa Anderson. This was written back in October 3rd, 2019, but right when it happened. Right? The woman who caused her so much drama 2 weeks ago. Vanessa is the woman who started the Black Emmy party to celebrate Black Hollywood. And according to Amanda, we are not friends. She has never been nice to me, ever. She's always had a curtness and always seemed to be bothered simply by my demeanor, my way of communicating with her, etc. At a certain point, it became, well, this is not someone I need to speak to because I don't work for her. She doesn't work for me. There's no reason for us to interact at all intents and purposes. So we don't. That's letting me know that you already knew whose party it was. But you showed up anyway, knowing that you and this woman don't get along. Talking about Jesse Williams invited you. But I'm wrong for looking at what she's saying and watching her step on her dick in this interview. But I'm wrong. However, they had to interact in one way or another for Amanda to gain access to the party. She recounted that at last year's Black Emmy party, which she came with Jill Scott, like she said, I came with Jill Scott, y'all. She also had a hard time. She had a hard time getting in last year, or the year prior, I should say. When she tried to get Vanessa's attention to fix the situation, she claims that the woman went off on her. Vanessa went off on her prior to this. Amanda, nobody got time for this right now, she claimed as Vanessa yelled out. I do not have time for this. Amanda said she was confused, as were a number of other people, by Vanessa's response. Nevertheless, she was able to get into the party with the help of somebody else. After the uncomfortable incident, she addressed Issa about Vanessa's issue with her, saying she's not nice, she's just nasty. She told Issa that there needed to be a layer of civility between them at least, but Issa didn't feel it was her place to get involved. Issa said, yeah, I mean, that's between y'all. This is her party, so it's not my jurisdiction to tell her how to treat you at her party. Come on, man. Come on, man. It's her party. Mika, if it's your party and you tell me to go get rid of such and such, they can't be here, they can't be here. If I'm security, get them out of here. If they on the list, get them out of here. If y'all got smoke, why would I show up to some place that I got smoke with the person who's throwing the party already? I had a difficult time the year prior, and then I show back up. Same party, same person throwing the party. But I didn't do nothing wrong, though. She left it at that was just last year. Here we go. Jesse Williams invited her this year, and at the HBO after party, she was telling all the Black folks she could find about Vanessa's party yet again, thinking she would gain access again. As we now know, things didn't go as hoped. When she reached the door, the young woman, Kiara, who she said was the white passing woman, said that she couldn't come in and said that she wasn't on the list. You're not on the list to get in here. She then, now check this. Like I said, she loves to leave things out. But she said it in this. She didn't say it in the Shannon interview. She said, I saw Vanessa come outside and have a conversation with her, but I ain't think anything of it. It was interesting that this was happening because it seemed like an echo of the year before. Come on. It seemed like an echo of the year before. Janet Jackson's manager even tried to get Amanda in, but they still said she wasn't on the list, and it was a no. That's when she started to air her grievances on her Instagram stories. And I remember that because I've been following Amanda Seales. Y'all think I hate her? I'm a fan of Amanda Seales. Actor Elijah Kelly ended up helping her find her way in. Yet again, she had to finagle her way, sneak into this thing, which the woman Kiara was not okay with. Amanda waved off the woman. This is right in line to what Amanda said, right? Amanda waved off the woman and tried to head toward the table for insecure cast members. But before she knew it, security came up to her and told her that she needed to be escorted out and that it was Vanessa who said she needed to leave. So in Shannon's interview, she's saying she don't know or that security didn't know who was telling her to leave. But in 2019, she knew. But she conveniently left that out for this interview, right? This is the big interview. This is the one that's going, because Shannon does numbers. She said she wouldn't leave until she spoke with Vanessa, but was told to leave or cops were going to be called by the black male general manager of the Avenue, the venue where the event was held. So not only was Vanessa involved, the person who owned the event space is now involved. But she did nothing wrong. But I'm crazy. I'm the one who hates Amanda Seales. I'm the one who, y'all just hate on her. Y'all just hate on her. Amanda said she was also upset that no one tried. Hold on, wait. Aside from being dumbfounded about the situation, Amanda said she was also upset that no one tried to step in to help. To help what, Amanda? You are trespassing at this woman's event. What am I to help you do? She said, I'm also seeing people seeing this happen and they're doing nothing, she said. If I saw this happening to someone else, I would have been all up in that shit. Doing what? You would have been all up in some shit doing what? Getting kicked out for the cause of what? To help somebody trespass? For the record, no one made a ruckus for me, she added. She feel protected in that moment, right? Isn't that the theme of what she's saying? Nobody protects Amanda. She didn't feel protected right there as she was she was trespassing. She noted that the event was supposed to be a safe space for Black people. So as for not to be that for her, and that the fact no one intervened to help her caused her to have an emotional reaction. It was wildly humiliating. Still, people on IG told her she was being childish and that she shouldn't have been shocked that Vanessa didn't want her in her party if the two didn't get along. She didn't agree with that. She goes on to say, this party was not at her house. This was not a personal event. This was a birthday. This was not a birthday party. It was not a naming ceremony. This was a Hollywood party for Black entertainers and contributors to Hollywood. So by that nature, I am a part of that industry and should be here celebrating with my community. What does that sound like? What does that sound like? This is the Hollywood party for Black entertainers and contributors to Hollywood. So by that standard, I need to be here. Amanda, you was not invited. Shawty, you're not invited. That's when her friend stood a wrapped, warm embraced around her and said, Amanda, we not supposed to be here, baby. And you got me out here. We both out here looking silly right now. We not supposed to be here. Let's go. You talk about being protected. Me saying this, I'm saying this for protection. She also noted that Vanessa wasn't the only person working on the event, reminding people that Jesse Williams was the initial person who invited her. I don't know why she keep bringing up Jesse Williams like it was his event. I don't know why she keep bringing up Jesse Williams like it was his event. It wasn't his event. He just told you to come through. If you can come through, come through. We kicking it over here. She said it was very frustrating to be somebody who's trying to do good work and have to deal with this type of unprofessionalism, to have to deal with this type of informality, and to deal with this literal type of petty ass fuckery. And Hollywood is so rife with this. And as for those who would say she was petty or unprofessional for publicly naming Vanessa, she disagreed, saying her actions warranted exposure. She says, fuck that. Some behaviors does not deserve the luxury of anonymity. She said, and this was an instance there was no. I'm not going to have this story told by other people without telling my story. And that's cool. I think she should tell her story. And I also think people have the right, reserve the right to call BS on said story. Let's look at what happened. Let me redo this. Let's look at what happened that fateful night, live from Amanda Seales herself. If my computer quit acting up, come on. Now I want to be slow. Come on, thing. Now I just want to be slow. Right? Don't do no dirt with Amanda. She calling everybody. She gonna drop every name in the book. If you walk by and waved at her, hey, Duke. Oh, Duke was there. Duke, no, hold on. All I did was wave. What you talking about? She gonna put everybody in. She gonna put everybody in. So this is what she says. You know, this was her going live. This was, like I said, this was that actual night. Amanda Seales get kicked out of the Black Emmys party by a white woman. Come to find out, the woman was not white. Like she said, she was not white. But either way, that really don't matter. She was working the door.
For the record, I am being denied entrance to the Black People's Emmy party. And it's a white woman telling me I can't go in. I just want to put this on record that I'm literally being told you cannot get entrance into a party that Jesse Williams invited me to, that is the only Black event for the Emmy weekend, because a white woman is telling me I can't get it. But I'm fine. So this is security escorting me out of the Black Emmy party. That's what's happening. I am not being granted entrance to the Black Emmy party in Hollywood. This is Shay. This is security, and I am being escorted out of the Black Emmy party. This is just to remind y'all that, like, it really doesn't matter, like, how hard you work or how good of a person you are. Like, you just gonna be in some bullshit. Like, the fact that, like, being some bullshit. Like, the fact that, like, I literally was humiliated just now because 4 security guards were asked to come and remove me from a party that is supposed to honor Black people at the Emmys. And it was a white woman named Kiara who made it her business to do this. It's just, woo! I'm not gonna cry though. I'm not gonna cry.
Amanda, we love you. I hope you get whatever help that you are supposed to get or are getting. I think you said you are talking to a therapist. If you have self-diagnosed yourself with autism, go get the real diagnosis so you can get the treatment and the help, because you might have some other underlying conditions that might interact and overlap with autism, just go get the help you need. I'm not trying to down Amanda Seales. I'm not trying to make her look bad. I'm just, if she is allowed to hold people accountable, I think we all should be able to hold each other accountable. And this is just to have a lesson in accountability. That's all this is. Some people don't like to look up at the mirror. Some people take a long time to, they walk past that mirror, don't look at it. And I'm not acting like I'm a saint. I'm far from it. But I won't triple and double down on some shit that I know I was wrong in. I won't go on an interview, have a pretty decent, successful interview, and then come out and bash the person whose platform I went on. Or come up with a reason why I lied to said person to make myself look bigger or better than said person. I won't take my educational status and try to throw it up in another person's face and saying, I'm an expert, you should listen to me. Especially about racism from a black man who is from rural Georgia, who grew up in the 60s and the 70s. But, you know, salute to Amanda Seales, man. Like I said, I hope she does good. I hope she has some projects. She's supposed to be going on tour, comedy tour. You know what I mean? If she come into your city or your area, please go out and support Amanda Seales if you like her comedy. And I'm gonna be on the lookout for her. I hope she gets some more gigs in Hollywood. I don't want to see her blacklisted or blackballed. I just want her to understand that everybody ain't for you. And you ain't for everybody. Some things are just learning experiences. Life is life. It's ups and downs. You are real fortunate to come out of racist ass Orlando, Florida, and to be in the position to where you are right now. And I know I'm saying that and I'm laughing, but it's true. You're very fortunate to seem like every gig that you landed, you knocked it out of the park. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about how dope you are. Gymnastics. You a gymnast. You should have talked about how you was whooping ass throughout middle school or high school in gym. You should have talked about some of the dope interviews that you had while you was working at, I want to say you was working at Sirius Radio. Talk about show how positive you are. Talk about the dopeness. In the chat, they talked about she had an interview. Who she had an interview with? Somebody said she had another interview. Jamel Hill. I like Jamel Hill sometimes. But Jamel Hill is a perfect advocate for her, for Amanda Seales. Right? But, and the reason why I say she would be perfect for Amanda Seales because she would let the bullshit fly because it's Amanda Seales. She wanted to be on Shannon Sharp 3 months ago. She got on her Instagram and said, I want to be on Shannon Sharp. She said she manifested this. I don't even want to talk about Myron Rowe and how foul that was. Like I said, I'm not going to speak and I'm not going to do the negative People think I was gonna come in here and talk about it. I'm not gonna talk about it. If y'all want to know about what she did with Monroe, y'all go look it up yourselves. I ain't even gonna go there. I ain't gonna go there. I just want her to understand, to even with autism, even with the with that, you can still hold yourself accountable. You can still have emotional education, be emotionally astute. You can still read the room. All of these are learned behaviors as you go through life. And it seems like you've had a dope life. And you've interacted with a lot of people. So I'm not understanding how you're not seeing what's right before you. You are a product of your own hubris. That is the downfall of you. And no, hubris is not the person who looked into the water and fell in love with themselves. That is not it. So you were wrong on that. That is narcissist. Where the word narcissistic comes from. Hubris has to deal with pride. You're a victim of your own pride, your own arrogance. And you might be right. You might not start off difficult because you seem to get the job. And maybe that's where the disconnect is. You get the job. You get the gigs. Her IMDb is lit up. And then something happens. Well, I don't know. Yeah, Fahim, it's got to be some checks and balances. You're supposed to learn from your failures. Learn from your L's. The L's are lessons, not losses. They lessons. Learn from them. Change your image. Give it time. Remember, money and success doesn't give anyone a free pass. That's real spill. Real spill. But I'm going to get out of here. I know I was going to have some detractors, some people who think that I'm, wrong. And that's fine. We can agree to disagree. I don't, I'm not going to get upset and get off of this and then go live and talk bad about y'all behind y'all backs or act like, because that's what we're supposed to have a discourse on. We're supposed to be able to talk, right? My point of view, your point of view, maybe we come in the middle, maybe we don't. Maybe you learn something, maybe I learned something, maybe we both learn something. That's what this is about. But y'all ain't got to go home, but y'all got to get the hell up out of here. In another 30 minutes, I'll be with the crew. Blurred AF. Talking the talk, doing the do that we do. So, yeah, like I said, peace. I'm out. Y'all enjoy the rest of y'all evening, y'all night. And salute to the replay gang. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell, hit the Cash App if you want, donate if you want, but join, become a member if you want. All of that good stuff. Peace. I'm out. Yo, what's cracking, Blues House? Hey, we come to the end of another great video. Hope you enjoyed our take on the latest in entertainment. Don't forget to hit that like button and share your thoughts down in the comments below. And if you're new here, consider subscribing. We would love for you to join us. Remember, Blues House is your house. Until next time, stay tuned, stay dope. We out.